All right, Joe 200, what's up? Today's Sunday, August 20th, 2023. It's raining. It's raining a lot, Down here at the beach area, not so much as for you poor people that live out there in the desert or foothill communities next to the mountains. So be careful out there. And again, let us know if any problems arise because of this, and we're here to help you out. All right, so um, for those of you that are looking at this video, okay, what I did yesterday was I posted right down here. You see this video right here. This is a how to navigate this course video. Explains everything. It's like a YouTube-based syllabus. Easy to watch, and it walks you through all the steps that you need to take in order to learn everything you can about life and about really applied information from this course. All right. Um, so I will just kind of briefly mention a few things. Again, this is how we've been communicating. Fight on, my friends. And So we will post all our communication as emails to you, and then you can see that it's also chronologically placed in your announcements page. And again, the announcements are obtained right there. It's also your home page that you're going to open to every single time you go into this class. All right. So this is the original post. That's the post I did yesterday. This lecture right now will be on top of this right here. Okay. In addition, and so you can go into this video if you haven't seen the other video. Everybody should go watch that first video, and it explains each component to the course here, and how to access it, what it's all about, timing, and everything else. Okay. Um, the people that are shown right here are friends of mine, associates. They've become friends of mine over the years. They're amazing people, experts all in the field of gerontology, and they help us with grading because there's so many of you. There's close to 200 people in the class. We may get to 250. Who knows? But it's really great that we can rely upon them to grade in a very fair and equitable way. And then what we do, Tara, Julie, and I, is we go through and we oversee it and make sure everything's fair. All right. Again, watch the video. Okay. It will explain everything in terms of what you need to get an A. I would say between 60 and 70% of you guys will get an A in this class. Okay. There's a lot of assignments though. You got to keep up with it. Okay. Alrighty, so what you're gonna do every week is you're gonna go into this. This is our weekly assignments, okay? Alrighty, I'm gonna go launch right into this right here, okay? So it takes a little while with the internet. Luckily, it's still up, okay? This describes everything about the weekly assignments, okay? And then you see it's all popular right here. You'll see that there is a start date and a due date, okay? You can work ahead, and I mentioned that in the last video. You guys do what you want to do with this, okay? My videos are going to come out once a week, just like today. Every Sunday, Sunday evening, I'm going to post it, and it's going to be a walkthrough of the assignment information. So it's a little bit more easy to digest, and how I would interpret it as somebody who's been studying gerontology, studying aging his whole life, okay? Alrighty, but like I said, you're welcome to do whatever you want. So this would be week 1, okay? So I posted right here already the how to get an A video, okay? Just in case you didn't see it the first time. This video right here is going to go right here, why aging matters, okay? What I will then do is I'm going to walk you through. This is an incredible production, okay? Super awesome. It's not that long. Put through by the economists. A lot of you guys are B majors, meaning Marshall School of Business at USC majors. It really puts everything in the true perspective. And then what happens, we'll go down here, and then the reading. So it's a great lead in to what the reading's all about. And I'll walk you through this, okay? Alrighty. Now, in terms of all the reading, you'll see there's a number of topics, okay? This is a 2017 publication. They look at a lot of data, okay? You guys are going to be data interpreters as well. It's always interpreting data that came historically from when you were gathering the data. And since it's a pretty broad spectrum of the field of aging, you'll see some of the plots might end in 2010 or 2015. Again, it's because they gathered it, they looked at it, they published it in 2017. What we find is that this particular publication is a real great overview of almost the entire class, okay? You look at all these topics right here, okay, and if we go backwards in time, you can either do that by going here or by clicking on this guy right here, okay? I'll click it on this one right here. It's going to take me back. And what we then do is you'll see, again, a reiteration of all the basic topics here, all the way from economics and finance to the biology and, you know, the big diseases of aging, okay, and the financial burden associated with getting these diseases that are, you know, basically long duration diseases. These are what are called non-communicable, okay, chronic diseases of aging, diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, cancer, kidney disease, on and on and on. All right, these are all mentioned in that first article, okay? But what we do is we go into each part into more modern detail. So, and a little just better analysis, okay? Like I said, we're going to go into each of these other parts. This is my favorite because you guys all want to make money. I mentioned this last time, okay? And, you know, you guys just dive into it. We've done a great analysis of this for you. So, you know, this is like dinner with your parents, where your parents put out all the really, really great fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, okay? So we're providing the nutritional information for your brain, okay? And it's your choice as to whether or not you're going to eat it, all right? And that's what this is all about. All righty, so you scroll down. This is the typical scenario, like I said, of what every single week looks like, okay? So that was all the information that I'll walk you through with my video. You then take the quiz and you take the discussion for that week. So this is way out there in week 11, assignment 11. You guys are more than welcome to work ahead, okay? You just have to remember, when it comes to discussion, you do one primary post that is based on, as you see right here, this prompt right here. And then you go into your friends' posts and you'll comment on 3 of them, and that's how you get full credit, all right? You do that once a week, you're good to go. The quizzes, what are they? They're 5 multiple choice questions, okay? You can work on those together. It doesn't matter to me. They come from a large pool, so nobody's going to get the same quizzes, all right? All right, so you could work ahead to week 11 if you want. Here it is, week 1. Like I said, you can get back to the weekly assignments section of Blackboard by clicking there, or right here by clicking here. So I'm going to click right here right now and get back in, and we're going to go to week 1. All right, all righty, let's get in there. All right, so the best thing you can do, and when watching this video right here, is you know, you click on it right here. I would take it straight to YouTube.
The Wealthy World.
Okay, and we go like that, and now you're into YouTube. Okay, and then the reason I would do that is because I want to watch this thing full screen. All right, and so it's loading up. All right, you can tell what I like to watch: surfing. And so you hit the full screen right here.
The wealthy world is aging fast.
So it's a short video, 12 minutes long,
every 12 people
not that
in
big of a deal.
countries was over 65.
It's in
By
better
2050,
resolution than this. I just have to let me hit it again and see what happens. It comes, see if it loads better this next time. Okay, there, that looks nice and clean. So if you're having resolution issues, just reload the video. Okay, awesome. So we're not going to watch this right now because that would be silly for me to watch it with you, but these are the highlights right here. Okay, so they talk about, you know, fancy words. We could look at population number analysis, okay, based on age, or we can call it world age wave demographics. So we're looking at the demographics is studying population numbers. Okay, we can look at population numbers with respect to disease, and then that's called epidemiology. All right, so there's a, you know, just like any specialty, there is a new language that you learn to speak. All right, so we're looking at human populations based on aging, the demographics. There's a lot of discussion of Japan. Okay, while their overall population is not that significant, the distribution of age groups in their population is very significant, and they were the first country to really have this gigantic transition where the older members of the community began to dominate the overall population. And what are the consequences of that in terms of availability, in terms of workforce, in terms of availability to draw taxes, to pay for things, and the fact that they become kind of an economic burden, okay? Somebody has to care for them. They get diseases of aging that cost lots of money for a long period of time, okay? We'll talk about this later, and you're going to learn all about the leukemia that my co-instructor, my wife, Julia, is right now battling. Okay, the first clinical trial that she did 6 years ago, it cost $300,000 to $400,000 a year for that treatment. Okay. Now, costs in the U.S. do not reflect costs that happen in other countries, but still, it is what it is. Okay, paid by health insurance. Okay, and so that is a negative in terms of the overall balance sheet that exists in our country, what's called the gross domestic product. So you have money coming in from taxes and sales and manufacturing, all the positives. Okay, and then you have the money going out, paying for people's Social Security, paying for Medicaid, paying for healthcare costs. All right, so that's a big deal. That's a big deal. All right. So like I said, they go through all the numbers, okay, and the profound economic consequences. Okay, this is at right around the 3-minute mark in the video that we're going to watch. And if you're retired, you're going to pay less taxes. Yeah, right now I'm making my full Monty salary, so I pay significant taxes on that. When I retire, I pay taxes on the money that I spend out of my retirement accounts, okay, which are unlikely to equal what my salary is right now. It'll probably be half, maybe a third, okay? So let's just say I'm making 300 grand a year right now, okay? Alrighty, and then I retire, and on an annual basis, I only spend $100,000, maybe $150,000 out of my 401k. I'm only going to pay taxes on that. So see, now my tax contribution is far less because I've retired. That's how that works, okay? And then I just had shoulder surgery. All right, that's 100 grand right there. Boom. Okay, so I'm starting to cost more. All right, the services I need cost more. So you can see the economic consequence, and that's what they're going to talk about right in there. Okay, awesome. The video comes up with solutions for this. I'm going to start drawing Social Security, and I'm going to work till I'm 72. I'm going to explain why I'm going to do that. Okay, I could retire right now. I'm 67. But I'm going to wait. Okay, and that's one of the solutions. One of the solutions is to keep people engaged and working. All right, improve healthcare. Okay. So one of the ways we're doing that is, I know it's kind of cliche-ish, but all these wellness campaigns is better, so to prevent disease, okay? And then if we can streamline the care of health, also by reducing the cost would be huge. And this is one solution you'll learn about in this video, all right? All right, so that's what that video is all about. And then what we see here is we'll get a reiteration of this, okay? And so you'll read forward through trend 5, okay? I'm going to go through that with you right now. And then from that, what you then do is you come down here, okay? If I was you, okay, I might even open up the class a second time, all right? Let's do this, Blackboard, all right? And then I go in right here, okay? All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my weekly assignments, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to week 1, okay, boom. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down here, okay, and I'm going to open my quiz, begin. I've got it open twice in my browser. I'm using Firefox. You could use 2 separate browsers. I quickly look over each of the quiz questions, okay? It's only 5 questions, so I just kind of look them over to get a feel what's going on, and then I dive into the assignment, okay? Alrighty, so that's quiz 1 right there, and I'm going to dive into the assignment right here. So we saw the video here, and now we're going to look at the reading assignment. All right, so we're going to go in here. Okay, so remember we're going through, what is it we're supposed to do again? We're going to go through trend 5. Okay, awesome. Okay, let me get this out of the way so I can access my file right here. I'm going to go through trend 5. Okay, I'm going to go like this. Okay, so that I can scroll down. All right, so this was supported by the major agencies in our federal government that are looking at the impact that aging has in terms of our economic well-being. All right, so you see it right here, the National Institute on Aging, which is a branch of the NANCES Institutes of Health, which is a branch of U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Okay, and the State Department. All right, so that's all that works out. Okay, awesome. So this is global. We're going to focus a lot on what's going on in our country, but we're also going to look at global issues, okay? Because globally, countries that are dealing with a lot of the issues that we are dealing with right now are looking to experts like you guys for an answer, okay? I think one of the best examples, Josh Johnson, who's one of our professors in our program, he also is an entrepreneur. He runs, owns, and operates a number of assisted living facilities, a couple here in California, some back east, okay? And so, you know, where did he get the capital to do this? How did he get going? He used to be one of the managers at assisted living facility. He was approached by an investment group in the Republic of China. He moved back there for a number of years, okay, and they paid him handsomely to oversee the design and implementation of special care facilities, anywhere from assisted living facilities all the way to long-term care facilities, and in that design mode, he was able to grow and then apply when he came back, and he made a lot of money doing it too. So, anyways, all right. So we'll go over the forward, the overview, introduction, and then we're going to go down to trend 5. Okay. Again, this you can see this is a reiteration of the very topics that you found out about when you watched that first video. So you might even watch the video first and then come back to my video. That's up to you. Okay. All right. So we're scrolling down here. All right. So in terms of the study, okay, so this is backed by our federal government, but it was a global initiative, okay? So we've heard a lot about the WHO or the World Health Organization. These are collectives of cooperating countries from all around the world that investigate issues relevant to the well-being of humanity, okay? World Health Organization was upfront and responsible for detecting COVID, identifying it, coming up with solutions to cure it, and or at least minimize the impact of it, and then getting that information out worldwide and getting things like vaccines and treatments approaches out worldwide, and how to contain disease, getting that information out worldwide. So they also sponsored this special study about how to deal with the issue of an ever-aging world. Okay, and so it is what it is. You may or may not like it, but it is what it is. Okay, people are having less children and people live longer. So there you go. So the balance in terms of numbers in your community is shifting. All right, the other group that was behind this was the World Bank, and the World Bank is again a large cooperating body of what we call industrialized or westernized countries that have lots of assets that then put their assets into a collective bank and distribute it to those countries that are less well off. Okay, awesome. All right, supported by the National Institutes on Aging. Okay, and a big focus they talk about again. Non-communicable. A communicable disease is something that's under your control, okay, immediate control. It's acute, it's infectious, okay, versus a chronic disease of aging that happens over 15, 20 years, okay? So COVID is a communicable disease, okay? We communicated it by breathing on each other, okay? but it's fertility, but child care, okay? Death from childbirth, okay? That's one. That is a communicable disease. There's, things that can be controlled. Um, People that suffer from nutritional abnormalities or malnutrition, okay? That's communicable, okay? But the other diseases we see here, cardiovascular disease, dementia, cancer, arthritis, diabetes, these are chronic, non-communicable diseases of aging, okay? And so they paint a compelling picture about the cost, okay? Because this is a combination of politics that always comes down to money, my friends, okay? All righty, cool. So let's continue on with our mission here. All right, so they're looking at kind of shock and awe here. So in 2006, they pulled this number out of their analysis. There were about 500 million people worldwide over the age of 65, okay? In 24 years, it doubled, okay, to 1 billion, okay? And we can go back to our chapter right here. We threw this up right here. So then we take it all the way to 2050, okay? And so we went from 1 billion in 2030 in 2050, we're going to be at 1.5 billion. All right. So that's the number of people yellow over the age of 65. Okay. So, it doesn't take a genius to realize that this is going to have serious consequences on the makeup of your community and have serious consequences in terms of the financial well-being of you as an individual and the country you live in. Okay. All right. So that's what that's all about right there. Okay, so this is kind of an overview of what we're going to talk about in this particular publication that we're looking at. So we're going to look at, overall how we have population aging. Okay, the balance sheet that exists in terms of number of people that are in each age group is shifting. So there's older and older members of every community. This is happening in developing countries as well. We're looking at Costa Rica and Mexico and things like that. It's happening, because why? Well, the things that used to kill people off, so they wouldn't live as long, okay, those interventions are now becoming common in even developing countries. All right, so this is the world we're going to be looking at, right? Okay, so that we're getting rid of these diseases that used to kill us. For example, COVID could have been a deal breaker in terms of everything we're talking about, but no, science got in there. And we got vaccinations, okay? And now suddenly it used to be targeting older people, and now people are living, okay? So life expectancy is increasing. So we had a dip in life expectancy with COVID, but guess what? It's coming back, okay? So as a result, okay, we start reducing the number of deaths from cardiovascular disease, from cancer, diabetes, even something like COVID. And so then the number of oldest rising, okay? And I wish I could paint this really beautiful picture of what it's like to be 85 years of age, okay? But sadly, there's a lot of disability, okay? And there's a lot of dependency on you in terms of supporting people as they get older, okay? Even if it's just individual, not so much financially. It could be financially. The shock and awe is people over the age of 65, okay, right now. We're going to talk about retirement accounts. And roughly 40% of people over the age of 65 have this much money saved for retirement, okay? So they're 100% dependent on Social Security, which is poverty level living, okay? So those people, if you know them, if they're in your family, in your community, are going to be dependent on you financially. Then there's the care, okay? Who's going to mow the lawn? Who's going to get the groceries, okay? Who's going to get you to doctor's appointments? On and on and on and on and on, okay? Something you have to prepare for, okay? So these chronic diseases of aging, okay, are becoming a bigger and bigger player in terms of the economy of every country and just your individual economy. I mentioned Julia's situation. My shoulder surgery I just had, so that was 100 grand, just like that in the month of July for me, so it's something that you have, that we have to, as a country, deal with, okay? And what happens then is if we don't have fertility, okay, we don't have people making children, having babies, then populations begin to shrink. And that was what was happening in China, okay? And that's not good for the economy because you need workers, okay, and you need people to be purchasing things in that economy, okay. All righty, so they come over here. Family structure changes, okay. People live longer, and suddenly you're 20-something years of age, and now you're having to deal with an older parent and a grandparent because they survived, okay. There's a huge burden placed on you because of that, okay. You need to think about that. As you have your family members save for retirement, then guess what? They're living with you, okay? Multi-generational housing or something. Something's got to give, okay? So one solution is to have this shifting pattern for work and retirement. So I'm going to work until at least 72. That's my plan, okay? Julia's 7 years younger than me. She doesn't qualify for Medicare health insurance, okay? So she's on my health insurance, and so this is the best option for us, okay? Plus, I like doing what I'm doing, so I want to stay engaged, okay? So you have this shift in working in work patterns based on aging. And what's coming down the pike for you guys is Social Security is too expensive. Okay, there's a fund, a trust fund. So every time you Social Security is taken out of your paycheck, it's invested. Okay, and then from the return on that investment, we pay off everybody's Social Security. Well, that was all fine and good, except for too many people retired, and now by 2030, the actual investment, the dividends, so to speak, of the Social Security fund is going to go negative. And so now we're going to start drawing from the principal. It's going to start shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. This is a no-win situation. Right, so that's right here. Social insurance systems are going to evolve, okay? And so there's rioting in France, remember, over the summer, because sadly in Europe, they had the most lucrative social insurance systems for you as an individual that was out there, okay? People got full coverage, really, really beautiful coverage, way beyond what we offer in our Social Security system, and they could start accessing it at age 55. And then suddenly it's like, whoa, we're going broke. So they're pushing back, but the general population was like, wait a minute, I liked it the old way, and so you get rioting in the streets, okay? So these are big economic challenges. Boom, 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 and that's what that is. But, with every problem, okay, there is an opportunity to come up with solutions, okay? And that's what you guys are all about, okay? All right? This talks about, Europe, okay, as I was just talking about, okay? And in terms of the pension, okay? And it says currently there's 4 people of working age that are paying for every older person's economic well-being, their pension system. In 2050, there'll be 2 workers. All right. So what's the solution there? We're going to have to tax you more. Okay. So that's not everybody's into that. So that's the big problem right there. Awesome. All right. So you don't prepare. Okay. There's a huge cost. The cost of waiting is enormous, okay? You can't just go around la 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 with your blinders on and say it's not a big deal. It is a big deal, okay? And it comes up in our federal government all the time, okay? You hear, oh my God, the Congress is going to go after Social Security. Congress is going to go after Medicare. They better not, because there will be rioting in the streets. Now, sometimes when they make decisions, they don't have to live by our rules, sadly. If you're a member of Congress, member of Senate, okay, you get lifelong coverage in terms of a pension, which is pretty much gone, okay, and they have their own separate healthcare system. They don't have to tap in to Medicare, okay? So sometimes they're not really based in reality that what the rest of us have to deal with. All right, alrighty, so the cost of waiting can be enormous, okay, if you don't prepare, and that's what this is all about right here, okay? It could be also kind of a wake-up call for you individually. And this little paragraph right here, that's what this is all about right here, okay? So I'm not relying on Social Security. Social Security is going to be like some spending money for me, okay? For me to maintain my lifestyle, I have to invest, okay? So in this particular example, they talk about somebody, okay, at 40 years of age, all right, they begin to save, all right? So they put $10,000 a year, they retire at 30, I mean, 30 years later at 70 years of age, okay? Not everybody wants to do that, okay? All told, okay, 30 years, okay, that would be $300,000, all right? But they accumulate $700,000 with a 5% return on their investment, which is pretty conservative. That's what we're getting right now in terms of a certificate of deposits, which is a really, really low risk way of investing, and even some money market accounts are close to 5%, okay? When the stock market was raging, here in our household, we were making pretty much 10% every year, okay? That's compounding, okay? That's why it got bigger, okay? Because you get, at the end of the year, say, you get a return on the investment and it goes right back in and it adds to the principal. And so then when you get another year where you have 10%, instead of going from 10,000, you're going 10 from 11,000, okay? And it just grows and grows and grows. And especially if you keep investing every year, it gets enormous, okay? And that's the challenge. Not enough people do that, okay? A lot of people can't. They're living what's called hand to mouth, okay? They get their paycheck, they pay their bills, and they have nothing left at the end of the month. What are they going to do, okay? That's a big issue. For those of you who can, act your wage, okay? Invest every opportunity that you can. We're going to go over that in this class. You guys right now should be doing Roth IRAs if you're working, okay? Either way, you can open up a brokerage account and start playing around. All right, awesome. All right, so that's what this is all about right here. Okay, lots of policy changes, okay? Like I talked about here, pensions. So pensions are guaranteed payout, okay? Of whatever that number is for the rest of your life, okay? With me, I don't have a pension, okay? All my retirement accounts are from my own money that I earn in my paycheck that I chose to invest, okay? Other people are like, la, 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 it doesn't matter. The government guarantees a pension for me, okay? That was the case in Europe. They're starting to pull back. In our country, the pension system was if you're a government employee. So you work for a local city. You work for the city of Laguna Niguel, city of Los Angeles, okay? You work for a utility company, okay? You're a fireman, you're a policeman, okay? These people get pensions, okay? The rest of us, okay, it's up to us. All right, so, all right. These are all things that have to be thought about. All right, awesome. So it's time to prepare, okay? Now, in terms of, sorry, there we go. We have the aging population. Let's kind of look at the dynamic, what's going on here. All right, and I'm definitely, we could read through this, but I'm very visual, and this is the first thing that pops out right here. So what we're looking at here is young children and older people as a percentage of the global population, okay? And what you see here, again, it's always looking retrospective and then projecting to the future, all right? This is 2050, okay? So we see here that there's reduced fertility, okay? Meaning people are having fewer and fewer children because you know what? People want to get themselves ahead. And by the time they get their act together, they're like, okay, I'm 35, maybe I'll have one kid, if you're lucky, okay? So we're seeing as a percentage of the total population globally, younger people are going down, and because of our ability to treat diseases, okay? You can treat cardiovascular disease, okay? You can take your statins, take your antihypertensive medication. These are all things that would have killed people before, but they don't. Have a coronary bypass surgery, on and on and on and on, okay? So the number of people that are living longer is going up and up and up and up, okay? So that is the reality globally, okay? We can look at how quickly this has happened. So they go through it over here with some verbiage, but we can look at this over here and just in terms of, and this is part of your quizzes, so I would be checking this out, okay? Whoops, God, dang it. All right, so for some reason it's jumping around on me. All right, let's go back here. I'll just use my, use this. This is easier, okay? All right, so we can go back up to number one. This is where we're at right here. Okay, so we're going to use kind of a benchmark right here. It says the number of years for population, okay, age 65 plus to increase from 7% of the total population in your country to 14%, for it to double, okay? All right. And again, this is just a benchmark. We could have said from from 5% to 20%, but this is what they use. They use the doubling from 7 to 14% and when it happened and how long it took. So the old countries of the world, it happened a lot earlier, okay, in Europe, okay? So we see France, this happened in 1980, okay? It took 115 years to happen, so they had a long time to prepare for it, okay? Sweden, we see we're right here in the middle, it took us about 70 years, okay? UK, Spain, and you see Japan, it happened really fast, really fast. So they didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this, okay? And, but you can see, you know, I can't turn these benchmarks the days, so this is all historical, okay? We come down here, okay, and this is looking at the present and the future, okay, for this particular benchmark. So these countries, it's happening in the here and now, okay? These are the developing countries, okay, so-called non-westernized, okay? All right, so so the developing countries are looking to us for an answer, and that's what that's all about right there. Okay, we look at increases in life expectancy, okay? Again, Japan was one of the first to really just accelerate through that, and we saw that when we looked right here in this graphic right here. All right, so they accelerated through it in a really rapid period of time. Okay, you see Europe and Australia, they were cruising. This all started happening, you know, a long time ago, in terms of this particular benchmark. All right, okay, cool. All right, so let's look at increasing life expectancy and what's going on. Okay, so what are the characteristics? Okay, so in populations that are developed, westernized, industrialized, whatever you want to call it, okay, there's this shift from high fertility to low fertility, okay, going from more of an agricultural, blue collar type of economy to more of a white collar economy, okay, and you know, back in the day in our country, you know, before it would be my parents, okay, my wife's grandparents, okay, you had lots of kids. You had lots of kids because it was, it helped in terms of the family collective to have a lot of kids to help grow crops and help with livestock and things like that. Those times have changed, okay? So our farming communities are now pretty much corporate, okay? We also see a steady increase in life expectancy. That's from the amazing progress that medicine has made, okay? And what medicine has done is we got rid of problems like infectious diseases, parasites, nutritional deficits, okay, malnutrition, and now the thing that dominates medicine are diseases of aging, which are chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, Alzheimer's, etc. Okay, so we can look at, you know, how this plays out. I'm just going crazy here. Let's see, and I'm just going to go like this. There. We can see how this plays out by looking at the graph of how well people survive. So back in 1901, this is the blue one, compared to 2003. Again, it's retrospective, okay? And so in 1901, okay, the way this is kind of what's called a survivalship curve. We can look here, how many people survived to age 10, how many people survived to age 20, 30, how many people survived to 90 or 100, all right? So that's the question, okay? And this is the percentage right here of the population. So in 1901, okay, we had issues in terms of infectious diseases. We didn't have vaccinations, on and on and on. So by age 10, 20% of the population was gone. Boom, just like that, okay? We also had issues in terms of controlling some of the other diseases that would creep in, okay? Diabetic complications, on and on and on and on. So here if we looked at how many people in 1901 survived to age 40, you're starting to get around only half the population, all right? All right, it's not great numbers. All right, so now we fast forward to 2003, we get rid of the infectious diseases, and now just about only 1 or 2% die from these problems. And you see that people live a lot longer, and we can project it out there, okay? So that's what that's all about. That's just an example, okay? And again, this shows you the change in life expectancy that happened from 1840 to 2000, looking at retrospectively. historically, okay, between men and women. And women are doing far better, all right, far better than men. Okay, all righty. So as a consequence, life expectancy goes up, okay, and the number of people of older age increase, okay. The oldest old age people, 85 and older, is increasing, and now we have chronic diseases that are happening with them. You know, I being an athlete my whole life and having a genetic predisposition for arthritis, that is the worst combination ever. So I used to play baseball. I was an avid basketball player. I was the #1 tennis player in my high school, and then I discovered surfing, and I went nuts. Okay, I love snowboarding. Okay, I'm one of those X game kind of brain type of people, and I'm 67, and that repetitive motion. Okay, look at this bad shoulder. This is the one I had surgery 3 years ago. This is the other one. Okay, this type of motion, they wore out, and I had to have surgery. That being said, you play hard, you pay hard. I had 3 knee surgeries on my left knee, total knee replacement. So that's 4 knee surgeries. I had a herniated disc in my back surfing, so I had a pretty bad back surgery, and I've had 2 shoulder surgeries. All right. So, and you know what's going to happen? Is this going to get better for me as I get older? No, it's not. Okay. All right. So I'm going to consume a lot of public resources disproportionately. All right. All right. Now, what happens here? Okay, we're looking at here. All right, pension and retirement income has to cover a much longer period of life. We live longer. All right, so if we're paying out the pension system for members in Congress, okay, members of the Senate, former presidents, yes, they get a pension. They live longer. We're going to pay out that money longer. Where's it coming from? Oh, that's right, from your federal income tax out of your paycheck. Okay, so healthcare costs are going to rise. Okay, you get more problems, more disability as you get older. It is what it is. Okay, as a result, people live longer, they cost more. This intergenerational relationship gets complicated. Okay, so I'm looking upstairs. Okay, all right. My sons. Okay, I'm thinking, are you guys going to be around to help me out? We'll see. You lived a pretty good life. I hope so. Okay, all righty. So we're going to see this growth in the oldest old. All right, and so we can look at different countries and see how this is playing out again. All right, so we can look, for example, all right, at global, okay? So on a percentile basis, okay, the projected increase in each age group, okay, that is going to be happening from 2005 to 2030, okay? How big a change are we going to see, all right? So from 0 to 64, we're not going to see that much, okay? Just a couple percent change, okay? 65 and older, again, this is raw numbers. These are more people down here, but on a percentile basis, it's a much bigger deal. God, it's because I'm using my little hand here. I apologize. But look at me. I think I would learn. Okay, awesome. So you see the oldest old had the biggest percentile increases, all right? 150% increase in people over the age of 85, 400% increase in centenarians. Crazy. There's going to be a lot more centenarians, okay? All righty. Cool. So let's just go back to this and see if that can help me out here. All righty. So that's some of the issues that we're seeing here. All right. The growing cost, okay, of communicable disease, okay? So again, I've been talking about this, okay? Cancer, et cetera, et cetera. So we look right here, okay, at this particular figure, okay? We're looking at the burden on a percentile basis of diseases that you have to deal with financially as a country, okay? So we look over here, this is low and middle income countries, okay? Scroll down. We're gonna look at green is the communicable, all right? COVID, an infectious disease, the flu, okay? What else do we have? The Zika virus, okay? Dengue fever, on and on and on, okay? Perinatal problems, okay? In terms of the mom's well-being, and then nutritional conditions. And then we have the non-communicable diseases, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, okay, arthritis, on and on and on and on, okay? And then injuries, all right? And let's see how that stacks up. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. We're going to compare high income and low income countries, okay? So right now, the United States, okay, you see right here, the non-communicable diseases, okay? This is cancer, diabetes in terms of making up what's, you know, but the burden for our country, it's 85%. You see in low income countries, okay, like Panama, all right, 44% is still the things that are under control. This is, when was this again? 2002. By 2030, sorry, I was looking at 2000. Yeah, this is low income and high income. Okay, so in 2030, all right, over here, you see that there's this transition happening. Okay, and that you're getting a less of a dominance over here in terms of infectious diseases. All right, so these trends are going to happen. Okay, so we're going to see this population decline, okay? And it's going to impact all the countries. So Russia's in a real issue right now because people are not having kids. Young people are getting the heck out of Russia, okay? And so what's going to support their workforce and their economy, okay? So they got a major problem, all right? People live longer, but they're not contributing to the economy, and that's what this is showing right here, all right? Japan is the same way, Ukraine, on and on and on and on and on, okay? This is showing the shift, okay, in terms of population, okay? So there's a big population decline. People aren't having kids, okay? And as a result, there's a consequence, okay? And so we can look right here. So we see Russia right here was in a huge downward spiral, not having enough people. Okay, they're showing population decline. Other parts, you know, certainly our country's pretty stable, but other countries are showing big increases. Okay, India's going up. Okay, China's going up. The big one are the African countries. Okay, the in 20, I think it's 2060. Nigeria will be the most populous country in the world. So we're shifting from China to India, somewhere mid 2030s, and then from India to Nigeria. Okay, that's what the projection is. All righty, back to Russia. All right, what's happening there? Okay, so we look at more and more older people. So this is the age makeup of the Russian population going from 2006 to 2030. So there's going to be an increase in older people. You see all these younger age groups, they're going the other way, okay, in terms of hundreds of thousands, okay? And that's because people are not having kids, and the people that have the ability are getting the heck out of Russia, all right? So that's what that's shown right there. Awesome. Okay, very cool. So that's what that was all about, okay? Again, this is kind of just a reiteration. You know, we're looking at billions here, percentile of each age group right there, all right? Okay, this is the discussion. I already showed you guys how to do the discussion. You go like this, all right? Hey, look at that. We already got some new people that have checked in. Very cool, Adam and Emma, okay? So what I would do is I would go in here to Adam. All right, let's check him out. He's from Camarillo. He's like me, golfing, basketball, beach volleyball. Hey, all those overrated sports. Football, okay? All right. He likes the Oklahoma, Kansas City Thunder, okay? He's really excited to learn all about this stuff. He has 2 dachshunds, okay? Awesome, very cool. Let's check it out here. All right. Oh, those dogs are cool. Awesome, very cool. Gotta love dogs. You have to love dogs, okay? Is that the OKC right there on the screen? All right. So I would reply. And I would say, all right, cool, Adam. Love the dogs. Mine are bigger versions. Oops, bigger versions. You saw Desi and Lucy. And I'm going to say, watch out for those overhead sports, dude. All right, and that's it. All right, so that would be one of my posts. Okay, I have my primary post, and then I've done a comment and atom. I got 2 more to do to get full credit, right? All right, guys, that's it. All right, peace. Stay safe. It's still raining outside, and I'll do another video just like this and my YouTube channel, your YouTube channel, next week.